இளையராஜா பாதி தான் பேக்கப் உள்ளதான் இருக்கு பேட்டரி. லைவ் செக் பண்ணணும். லைவ் செக் பண்ணணும். இளையராஜா ஓகே இல்லை ஓபிஎஸோட மைக் கனெக்ட் தெளிவாக கேட்குது. Ma'am, good evening. Good evening, ma'am.
இல்ல.
Ma'am, good evening. Is this audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, shall we start the program?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. It is my honor to extend a warm welcome to all. I welcome Ms. Mahalakshmi, Assistant Professor, Madurai Gandhi N.M.R.Subbaraman College for Women, will deliver the welcome address. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. A very amusing and pleasant evening to one and all present here. Well, my first and foremost duty on behalf of MGNMRS College, Department of Computer Science and Computer Applications, I proudly welcome you all for this one-day 7th National Research Workshop on Foundations and Frontiers Exploring Deep Learning Techniques. Beauty is anywhere a welcome guest. A woman with a great vision and mission, an icon for hard work. She is our chief guest, Dr. Gunasundari ma'am, Assistant Professor, School of Computing, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Tiruchirappalli, who has crossed the boundaries of excellence with a great spirit towards profession. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
A dream becomes a goal when action is taken towards its achievements. The fragrance of flowers spreads only in the direction of the wind, but the goodness of a people spreads in all directions. My hearty welcome to our team leader, Dr. Gomathi ma'am, Principal and Head, Department of Computer Science and Computer Applications, whose efforts are remarkable at this event. She has been the pillar behind all our department events. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank
Happiness lies in the joy of achievement and the thrill of creative effort. I am glad to welcome Dr. Mahima ma'am, Vice Principal and Head, Department of Commerce and PA, who initiate us to do creative work. I welcome you, ma'am. I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Satish Kumar, founder of SK Institution. It is our first program after signing of MOU. I express my gratitude for your initiative steps that helps our faculty and also our institution to move forward. I welcome you, sir. Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. I warmly welcome Mrs. Sri Rekha ma'am, Administrative Officer and Head Department of English, who has been the guiding force for all our activities. I welcome you, ma'am. I am pleased to welcome our various department heads and all my dear supporters to joining our great workshop. Talent win games, but teamwork and intelligence win champions. I extend my welcome to all faculty who are all gathered here to add radiance to this occasion. I wholeheartedly welcome all the participants from various institutions. Last but not least, I welcome my lovable students to grade this workshop. Once again, I welcome you all for these wonderful gatherings.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I welcome Dr.K.S.Gomathi, ma'am, Principal and Head, Department of Computer Science, Madurai Gandhi N.M.R.Subbaraman College. Welcome, ma'am.
Good evening, one and all. So I feel so happy for being the keynote address deliver for this 7th National Research Workshop on the topic Foundations and Frontiers Exploring Deep Learning Techniques. We have associated with the SK Research Group of companies. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude for arranging this wonderful workshop. I wish all the participants who have been participating in this wonderful session for getting knowledge. So definitely the session will be a very fantastic session, and also it will give more and more information. We know for the past few years, deep learning has been successfully applied to numerous problems in many application areas. We can include the natural language processing, sentiment analysis, cyber security, business, virtual assistants, visual recognition, and whatnot. So it is being used in many fields. We know it is an artificial intelligence technique method that uses computers to process data in a way inspired by human brain. So definitely we have invited a eminent resource person, Dr. Gunasundari, Ma'am, Assistant Professor, SRM Institute, Tiruchi. So on behalf of our college and on behalf of our associate partner, I would like to welcome you, ma'am, for this special session. So definitely this session will give more and more information to all the audience. And I thank Dr. Satish Kumar for helping us in arranging such a wonderful seminar. And also I wish to thank Mrs. Saranya for coordinating this event in a successful manner. I wish all the participants definitely this workshop will give a very wonderful information for you all, and definitely it will be a meaningful one. And thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I welcome our speaker, Dr.C.Gunasundari, Assistant Professor, School of Computing, SRM Institute of Science and Technology. Welcome, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Shall I present my screen?
Yes, ma'am, you can present your screen, ma'am.
Okay. Is it visible to you?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible, ma'am.
Okay. So good evening to one and all present here. I must thank Madurai Gandhi, N.M.R.Subbaraman College for Women and SK Research Group of Companies for a 7th National Research Workshop on Foundations and Frontiers Exploring Deep Learning Techniques. So I must thank Management Principal of College, Dr.K.S.Gomathi ma'am, and as well as Vice Principal, Administrative Officer, Placement Officer, and SK Research Group of Company people. I thank all of you giving me a wonderful opportunity to present on the title of Foundations and Frontiers Exploring Deep Learning Techniques, and also welcome participants to this wonderful evening with you. Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So myself, Dr.C.Gunasundari, working as Assistant Professor at SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Tiruchirappalli. So this is the topic which I choose today, this evening is, it is very useful and also essential to this, either it may be a computer science people or non-computer science people, who are the people in any domain. Everybody should eye-opening session. Everybody should have knowledge on deep learning techniques. So this session would not give the much effect on this topic, because the topic of deep learning is much and much bigger, because it is a deep learning. So we cannot give much exposure in this 1 hour session. But anyway, this is the eye-opening session for the further learning, future learning, because learning is a continuous process. So the deep learning is really, it's a continuous process. So today's session is the introductory session, and also in my level, I will give them some small examples and applications, whatever it is, I will give it. So from this introduction, so everybody, I request everybody to do study further. Okay. So this is the introduction. So before into deep learning, so that the word coming from, this is the artificial intelligence. So nowadays, without AI, we cannot do anything. As I'll aware about that. So whatever the human do it, the same thing can be mimicked by the machine. We can make the system to think, act, and what produce whatever we are doing in the human brain. So mimic the human brain, that is called it as artificial intelligence. There are lot of approaches are available to achieve this AI. So one of the method is called it as a machine learning, to make the system to think. Okay. So previously there is a classical program is there. The classical programming, for example, if you want to write a program for some greatest among three numbers or distance between 2 points. So we are writing the program for the problem. First we have to define the problem. For the definition, we have to write a program for our problem. Then afterwards, if you have to give the input, it produces the output. The program has to process the input, it produces the output. This is the classical programming approach. Okay, so always think ulta or think reverse order. So the machine learning, we are giving the input as a data, not a program. The machine learning model itself, it creates the program or model for the any problem. So if you want to find the any solution for this any problem, we have to give the huge amount of data to the machine learning model. Automatically the model build the method or approach or algorithm, whatever it is, it creates it. And also there are several algorithms in the machine learning. Already you know that is SVM, that is support vector machine. Then Bayesian network, that is Bayesian learning. Then that is KNN, nearest neighbor algorithm. So there is lot of machine learning algorithms are available. So in that machine learning algorithm, there is only one algorithm is called it as a neural network model. The algorithm which is used for either maybe classification, regression, whatever it is. So at the time of early 1950s, that neural networks is evolved. So afterwards, and that time, the 1950s and 60s, the amount of data is very less. So not that much, that is the digital data is very less compared with nowadays. So after into the internet era, that is more and more people are, all the things are into the internet. At the time, the data come evolving. Okay. So if we have to do the analysis, we have to do the classification in that neural networks, we need more amount of data. That is the initial days at the time of 60s, that is the neural networks evolved. But that is very rare data and a less amount of data. It does not give the high accuracy from this neural network. So that at the time the research is ongoing, on process. Nowadays, whatever it is, if you are using mobile phones or internet, each and every log, if you are opening some websites, if you are clicking this one, click streams, everything is data. Whatever in the 24 hours, the human being use this wherever we go. We are using ATMs and mobile swapping machines, whatever it is, wherever we go, any digital transaction, digital applications, whatever it is, either maybe if you go with that, any factories or hospitals, everything is data. Okay, so this huge amount of volume of data is stored in anywhere, and also we have to create the data set from this data set of data. So after evolving this huge volumes of data, the neural networks into deep neural network. Okay, so this deep neural network only we call it as a deep learning. This is not a huge area. This is the small point in the artificial intelligence, but it is plays a major role in the artificial intelligence. Okay, so from this, among the group of the artificial intelligence, machine learning is a single approach. From this one of the approach, we are having the one of the algorithm model is a deep learning model, that is neural network, deep neural network. Okay, so in the previous days, we are using the lot of machine learning approaches. Machine learning approach detection, classification, we can done through this machine. Nowadays also we are using machine learning. So what is the difference between machine learning and deep learning? We have the labeled data, whether it is any predictions, either apple orange prediction, the number predictions, handwriting prediction, whatever it is. We are giving the labeled data as an input to the any machine learning algorithms, KNN, CNN, whatever it is. You are giving not CNN, it is ASPM, KNN, likewise Bayesian, these are the algorithms. So we are giving the input to the machine learning algorithms. From this one, we have to train the model. After training the model, we have to check whether the model is working perfectly or not, which I have checked with that testing data. So we have to check whether the model is working correct or not, because we know that the human know that, and also our data set also knows that which is whether it is correct or not. This is the machine learning. So in the deep learning, and also one of the major criteria and major factor plays in machine learning is the features. Either it is a machine learning or deep learning, feature plays a major role. What is feature? So if you have to take the human face, we have to identify that. So what is the shape of the human face? Okay. So what is eyeball size, the nose point? So whatever, everything, each and every points, each and every factors in the faces, call it as a feature. So the system has to take the important feature from the face. Then only the face detection algorithm has identified that whether it matches the features. It does not take the photograph. It does not compare these two faces are same or not. It has to take the input feature. And also we have to test the machine learning, deep learning algorithm check with that human present face, that is a real time. It has to check whether the features are matched with that face or not. So then only it has to predict either it is yes or no. Okay. So this is the major feature extraction. Feature learning is one of the important thing in machine learning. But fortunately or unfortunately, this feature extraction and classification also done by this deep learning algorithms. There is no explicit need of feature extraction is not needed in that deep learning model. So this is the major advantage in this machine learning and deep learning models. So we have to everything we have to do it manually, not manually. We have to give the data. Do the next we have to see in the slides. So next what are the is?
Ma'am, slide is not moving, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's moving.
Yes, ma'am, it's moving. Now,
deep learning applications. Can you see the deep learning applications?
Yes, ma'am. Fourth slide now.
Okay. Yes, correct.
Ma'am, can you go to the presentation, ma'am?
Yes, it is in the presentation, ma'am.
No, it is there. Slideshow, ma'am. It is not in the slideshow.
Wait a minute, ma'am. Shall I share entire screen?
Ma'am, you can share your entire screen, ma'am.
Okay. Now, whether it is a presentation mode?
Yes, ma'am. Now it's working.
Okay. Okay, sir. Sorry for the interruption. Okay. So we have to see the deep learning applications. We have to in mobile phone, everywhere we are using that. So whenever take a photograph, the Beautify app, exactly everybody we are using it, and also filters. So these all things can be done by this deep learning. That is automatically when you take the photograph, we have to apply the filters and beautification things. So include the features, say embed with that in our faces. It has to enhance our things, enhance our beautification of our face. Okay, and also object detection, that is automatic factory, whether it is any factories, the object detection can be implemented in factories. And also it has to implemented in the speech and audio, whether it is a voice recognition. So wherever it is, either it may be a police officers or whether all other applications and normal people also, they are identifying the voice recognition use app. And also most of the things can be some of the people know or doesn't know about that. So the language translation is the important thing. Nowadays we are using Google Translator and also other translator also available. And also we can convert our text to speech, speech to text. This and the models are available. So these are all the models all are possible by the only deep learning. And also natural language processing, that is the human does not know about the all the languages. We can do all the language translation with that natural language processing. And that and the recommendation system, we are all using Flipkart system. Once you have to buy anything from that applications, always it recommends according to that is a past data. So based on the past data, in future it has to predict, it has to recommend the thing for us. So that is the recommendation engines. And also once you open the app and otherwise Google things, so the ad is also like related with our what we search. If we are using any news app, so in between of news app also, if you buy something in the some Agio or Meesho or Amazon, whatever we bought recently, the related things is and also visible in our news app also, ads, that is advertisements. So suppose if you have to buy, if you have to search regarding gold rate and jewelry loan, whatever it is, if you search like this, our anything, if you go with that any applications, the advertisement also related with our search also. Everything is watched. That is Google big boss is watching us, whatever the data we are searching, we are going wherever the location history. So everything it is watched by the Google. And also sentiment analysis. So based on the recent things, whether our mood is things. If you have to watching movie in this Amazon Prime and Disney Hotstar, means that is the system has to think that the person has to be in the proper mood based on our activities in this social network or internet. Okay, so these are some applications in the deep learning. Usually when you into the technical thing, we can divide the applications into detection, prediction, and generation. What is detection? You know that text and speech, either it is maybe a conversion, otherwise translation, and also image data, that is a face detection. Next one is the human behavior and identity. Suppose, so in recent days, in our present scenario in real time, so everywhere Google surveillance camera fixed everywhere, and also in the festival times, and the police announcement like this, some of the persons here and there roaming there, one of the person red color shirt, the movement is not good, so they have to identify the wrong people from the set of peoples. Okay, so already the model is learned with that common behavior of the persons, common behavior of the humans. Anything unwanted behavior is shown in that, so the person has to intimate to that whether the behavior is good or not. The person has to intimate to us. And also anyway, if you are doing any bank transfer thing is, and also either it must be email, so that is a spam detection. So if it is a spam detection, how the spam emails are identified means, if it is any banking application, if it is needs any account details and a lottery, we have to transfer this much amount. These are the keywords is given for the spam detection. And also they have to give the some of the addresses frequently reached apps, this type of abuse also. Even it is a true caller also, some of the business numbers can be detected that in the red, that is a fraud or like this, it has to intimate to us also. So these are the detection deep learning application. And also next one is the prediction. These are the very familiar application. It may be a stock price prediction, house rent prediction, otherwise house price prediction, whatever it is, anything based on the past data and also present scenario. We have to predict the data. Okay, the deep learning has to predict the thing is what is going to happen future. after 10 years, after 5 years, what will it, after 1 hour, weather prediction also. So whether it is, so in the previous days, if they are giving any weather prediction, it won't reflect our real time. But nowadays, most of the satellite images and satellite data is very accurate. Most of them it is worked out. But even though we have to, in our India, we have to improve that, because in US and UK countries, their prediction is too good compared with us. If they have to give the any cyclones or things happening, it is happening in the same time. So nowadays in our country also it is happening, but our satellite information, satellite things has to improve in future days. And also the individual and behavior condition, how the humans, whether the person has in the which type of person, whether he is working or not, where he is working, who are all the searching things, what are the buying things, anything can be predicted by the deep learning model. And collectively we have to say that it's like a jadagam. We can say that the person, according to that history of this search and thing, we have to predict the human behavior also. Okay, the next one is the present scenario. Everybody know that is chat GPT, generative AI. Most of the things, the previous thing, detection and prediction is based on the data. We have to think based on the data, we can detect, based on the data we can predict. So we have to do the past data, we are going to predict and detect in the future. But this generation, that is generative AI, that is newly created. Instead of writing some text, the chat GPT also has to writing letter for us, so making text for us, making answer for us. So this is only possible by the deep learning models. So it is also, that model is learned by the lot and lot of documents. That is, it is trained by the lot and lot of documents. It going to detect. It is not a Google search engine. The Google search engines differ from the chat GPT. Google search engines has to give the n number of records and n number of data is available in that internet. So from that data, it has to give the answers according to our searching, that is keywords. But this generative AI, newly created things, it has to, that is a fresh one, according to the deep learning model, based on the trained things, they has to give the new thing to us. And also you already know that the son of Vairamuthu, Madan Karki, giving the lot and lot of lyrics writer model. So the lyric writer is automatically artificial intelligence, that is generative AI, to write a new song to us. So if you give the scenario of any movie or anything else, that is that generative AI gives the lyrics to us. And also visual art. If you have to, if I want to get an image that is on sea is there, I want to my mood is like this, so I need this image, means automatically the generative AI create the image for us. Okay, and also writing some designs for our factories or whatever it is. If you want to design some posters, it uses all the things. So without human interruptions, without the thing, just we are giving the scenarios with our input, with our questions. The generative AI generate the, either it may be art, either it may be music, either it may be a text, or it may be a design. It has to give like this. Okay, so these are the three. These are the three main areas of detection, prediction, and generation. Okay, so now we are going to the deep learning applications. So these are all the common behavior, whether face recognition, machine translation, handwriting. These are things. Another one is important thing of deep learning application is medical diagnosis. So nowadays, this deep learning model help to doctors to detect for whatever it is, whether the person has to predict whether it is a cancer prediction or the pneumonia prediction. So in the days of the COVID times also, they are giving a lot and lot of, so according to that patient data, the deep learning model has to predict the disease. Okay, so the main thing and the main help important for this deep learning is to help the doctors to diagnose and prognosis for this medical applications. Next, we have to see the life cycle for the deep learning model. It's not only for the deep learning. Sir, my slide is visible. I'm in the 7th slide. 7th slide. Is it visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, it's visible, ma'am. Deep learning model.
Okay, sir.
Slide number 7.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes,
Either it may be deep learning or machine learning. Either it is a classical model, that is data mining, whatever it is. The life cycle of the process is the thing. That is a life cycle have the 5 steps. Before into the model, first of all, we have to get the data. What is the application? What domain you are going to work with that? First of all, we have to collect the data. So then only we can process. Okay. So the next one is after collecting the data, we have to clean and prepare and manipulate the data. What is cleaning? We have to do some of the pre-process. If you have to work with that missed data, we have to remove the missed data or noisy data, irrelevant data. If it is the size of shape data may be irrelevant to us, irrelevant to this application, can be removed from this one. We have to do all the pre-process because our model, the final model, is only related with that data only. So this collecting and pre-processing data is more and more important for this creating the model. Next, we have to train the model based on on either any algorithms. Based on the algorithm, we have to train the model. So after training the model, we have to test with that real-time data. So after that, if it is the model is working properly, we have to go with that final version. Unless otherwise, if we are not getting the expected output, expected model means we have to go iteration, do more iterations. The 2, 3, 4 again and again, you have to do the steps of second, third, and fourth steps. Suppose if you are doing more iterations, suppose if we didn't get any model properly, means the problem is not in the model, the problem is in the data. So we are collecting the irrelevant data from anywhere. So we have to check the data set. We have to change the data set based on our model. Okay. So this is the deep learning model for either it may be data mining or machine learning or deep learning model. We have to process like this only. So next we have to know what all the applications can be done in the deep learning and machine learning means. Suppose if the problem is deterministic, if we have to give the input, we have to get the output through the program means no need to get into the deep learning. So suppose if we want to give some simple algorithm, shortest path algorithm. If you want to shortest path algorithm, we know which is the source, where you going to reach, that is the destination. So what all the intermediate nodes are available, you can go with that shortest path algorithm. No need to get into any machine learning or deep learning applications, because if you know how to write the algorithm for this or problem, no need to get into the machine learning. If it is non-deterministic, we cannot determine anything. We have to predict, we have to detect means we have to go with that application. For example, recognition 3D object, we have to object detection in the 3D scenes. Otherwise, handwriting recognition, because we can't write the simple program for handwriting recognition. Based on the data set only, the handwriting recognition can be done. Unless otherwise, if you want to write the handwriting materials into digital form. So if you want to convert like this, so these all things can be possible only by the deep learning and also speech recognition. So these are the things cannot done by the classical method of programming. Only these process can be done by the deep learning. So that these problems can be solved by these methods. And also a problem which do not have the fixed solution, that we cannot fix the solution. Either we cannot say these are things as yes or no. We cannot change that. It may be changing, because one time the mail has been, if we want to find the email spam detection also, we cannot fix it. If you get the word that bank account details means, we cannot say that this is the spam mail and this is the not spam mail. Sometimes this may be relevant to us also, relevant to our bank detail also. So that time adopt with that experience. We have to classify based on the real-time experience. So that time of applications only we have to use that machine learning. So I'm saying that why we are go with that machine learning, deep learning instead of classical programming. And also it is time dependent. What is time dependent? Recommendation system. Either if we have to go with that YouTube, according to our YouTube history, whenever person after wake up at the time of 6 o'clock, usually has to open the YouTube and check with that any God songs means automatically when the next third day or fourth day, if you open the YouTube and 6 o'clock. So automatically the first recommendation is the God songs. Okay. So according to that, our search history, according to that, our experience, the time will change. Okay. According to the timeline. So these type of application we are using that, and also any predictions based on any price prediction, say the stock prediction, weather prediction. So this is related with that timeline. So whatever it is, we have to keep with that deep learning model. So these are all the application. If you know the deterministic solution for our problem, we doesn't bother about the thing of deep learning and machine learning. We have to go with that classical algorithm. Unless otherwise, we have to relate with that real-time data, real-time experience. Surely we have to, and also we cannot say explicitly, we cannot say that it is right or wrong. We have to go with that machine learning and deep learning models. Okay. Then we have the question that why we go for deep learning? When is it is evaluated? Okay. At the time of it is related with that. This is x and y axis, and the amount of data in the x-axis, accuracy in the y-axis. So in the initial days, the traditional machine learning algorithm can be applied for the small amount of data, and also our accuracy is somewhat okay. So afterwards, if we have to improve the size of the data, we have to go with that neural network model. And also, if you have to increase the volume of data in that any speech recognition or handwriting recognition, we have to go with that medium size neural network. And also, we have to go with that is the MNIST data sets. It is a large volume of network. This cannot be processed by the classical machine learning algorithm. So we have to go with that large neural network. That is not large neural network means it is a deep neural network model. And also automatically the accuracy will be improved. So this the need for data, deep learning is related with that amount of data. When the amount of data is increased, we have to go with that. If you apply the deep learning model, accuracy also improve. But in the machine learning and the classical machine learning algorithms are not capable of doing processing that much of data into these simple algorithms. So this is the need for deep learning. And also everyone knows about the some algorithms, that is types of learning, that is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. Most of them know about the supervised and unsupervised. The reinforcement learning is also, that is a very interesting experience of, that is the game playing. So person has to work with that. Either he can play the chess or motor games, whatever it is, either games. So based on the player behavior, the machine also has to think and act. So this is the way we have to into the reinforcement learning. The supervised learning, the data set itself has the labeled data. That is either have to predict that the color is orange or red. So based on the behavior, either it is a dog or cat. So based on the feature, if the feature is like this, this is a dog. The feature is like this is a cat. Likewise, we have to give the labeled data. So the next one is the unsupervised learning. So based on the data sets, we make the clusters. Okay. So what is the cluster? So these clusters, these data have these items have the same type of features. Though this is into this cluster. Otherwise, this may be into the zone. So at the time of activation function, we have to detect and predict like this. So we will see in the later. So the totally types of learning is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Nowadays, most of the application we are using is this reinforcement learning because we have to work with that real-time data. Okay. When you into the deep learning, without feature, we cannot do anything. What is feature? So this is our input vectors. When the input vector means that if you want to give the face recognition or face prediction, we cannot give the simple image. We have to take the features from the anything. Either maybe find out whether it is apple or orange. We have to find out the features. Apple is what type of the features? What type of feature? The apple in red color. What is the size? What is the texture? So everything we have to give us a features. Okay, more and more features are available, but all the features are not important to us. Us means it is a deep learning. So the deep learning only takes the very important features. Then only we have to go with that next factor, that is the weight. So for example, for the house price prediction, we have to find out the how many number of rooms in that house, what is the area of the house, whether it is according to that environment, whether it is a pollution free, and also whether it is hospitals are near, schools are near. So these are the features are the predict the house price. Okay, and also the speech recognition, so noise ratio, length of the sound, whether it is a filter matches with that sound, everything is. And also in the medical application for the cancer detection, so based on the image, either it may be a CT scan images or MRI scan images, we have to check with that each and everything. What is that size of the clump thickness? Okay, what is the size, uniformity of cell size? What is the nearest cell sizes? Under that affected area cell sizes, whether it is relevant or irrelevant. That is uniformity of cell shape. And also what these are the some factors related with that cancer. So each and every application, we have to take the feature as the input vectors. So we have the deep learning model, different layers are there. First layer is the input layer. The input layer, we are giving input as a vectors. So that input vector as the features. Okay. And the next one is the weight. Already I said that we have to take an feature as the input. Lot of features are available, but all the features are not important to us. So we have to give the weight for each and every feature. So how do you find the which feature is important? We doesn't know anything about the features and weights. So we have to go with that randomly. How to give the weight? How to the system has to randomly. That is a Gaussian things. That is a Gaussian things. They have to give the whole mean value will be 0. So each and everything either maybe 0.1 minus 0.2. So likewise, each and every input vectors, we have to assign the factors, randomly give the weight for the things. If suppose on the final predicted output is equal to the, otherwise more relevant to this expected output, there is no problem, weight is correct. But actually, first iteration, it won't be correct. So if it is based on the loss, what is lost? Expected output minus that is a predicted output. We have to get the value and have to give the root mean square value. So we have to square the error value. So then only we have to find the difference between our expected or predicted. We have to find out the difference. Then after that, we have to adjust the weight. So after adjusting weight, we have to find the output. We are doing lot of operations. We have to give the example for this one. If it is expected and predicted values nearer to this, no problem. There is no need to change the weight. Unless otherwise, you have to change the randomly. You have to check the weight. Okay, based on the error value. So this is the simple neuron structures as like as the input vectors. Suppose we are having the 10 input vectors, means that is x1, x2, x3, x10 up to this one. For each and every input vector, we have to assign the randomly, have to assign the weight factors, that is W of x1, W of x2, W of x3. So then you have to add the bias value. So what is bias? So for imbalanced things, if you have to check with that more predicted value, we have to add what is the formula for calculating this one, means for neural network, for all the calculation like this only, that is x1 into wx1 plus b. Okay, likewise you have to calculate the things. So we have to do the in between of input and output. There is a hidden layer in that. In that one, we have to use the activation function. What is the purpose of activation function is, our neural networks only have to do the linearly. Linearly, it will calculate yes or no things. Okay, but always the items and data set would not be a linear one. So to convert our linear thing into non-linear one, so we are using the activation function. Either maybe a softmax function, tanh function, we are using this activation function. So this is the simple neuron structure. What is a simple neuron structure? One input layer is there, one output layer is there. So in between of one hidden layer is there. So here we are doing some operations. What is the operation? That is x1 into w1 plus x2 into w2 plus x3 into w3 up to how many features are, how many input vectors are there. Then add with bias value. Then it is given to the input of activation function. Activation function convert our linearity into non-linearity. What is linearity, non-linearity? The values will be randomly, it has to generate 0.1, 0.17, 2.38 like this. We have to normalize it. What does normalize it? Either it may be the value will be converted into the 0 to 1. That is it might. Otherwise, -1 to +1. If the value will be less than the zero, the output is like this, yes, no. If it is greater than the zero, the output is yes. Likewise, you have to predict it based on the activation function only. Next, so how the input will be taken, because we are going to see that there are lot of deep learning models there. So we are having convolution neural network, recurrent neural network, that is long short-term memory, that is LSTM, then generative adversarial neural network, then transfer learning. These are some deep learning models are available. Today we are going to see some simple CNN model for prediction. So how to take the image? You know the RGB color. So if it is any image is there, all the color combinations only with that red, green, blue, the combinations of RGB. So this is the sample image of our input. So how the image will be converted into this one means, so that is how many composition, that is a texture value, each and every pixel value, how many combinations of RGB is there. Okay, so each and every the image is converted into the matrix value, matrix form. So in the matrix form, each and everything is converted as considered as a pixel. So each and every pixel, that we have to find out the RGB weightage. How many R, how many G, how many B. It is a weightage of each and every color value should be calculated. So based on this value only, each and every pixel value is considered. So now we are going to see a convolution neural network. This is the one of the deep learning model, and also this is the basic and simple model for everyone. So what is the layers in that CNN layer means? Input layer and at last output layer will be there. More and more, why it is called it as a deep learning means, so suppose if we call it as a neural networks means only three basic things, that is called it as a perceptron. Initially it is called it as a perceptron. So in this perceptron, one input layer is there, one hidden layer is there, one output layer is there. So within that neural network, we cannot give that much of input data and that much of calculation. We cannot predict all those things. So we have to improve the hidden layers. There is only one input layer, one output layer. Only there is a change in the hidden layer only. Then the volumes of hidden layer only we have to plays a major role in the deep learning. So that only we can call it as a neural network into deep neural network. So that nowadays it is called it as a deep learning. Okay. So what is the purpose of input layer means? The features are considered as a vector. It is given to the input layer. So hidden layer, there are also some of the according to that, either it may be a CNN, hidden layer may be different. If it is a RNN, we have to change the model also. Okay. And the output layer. And finally, we have to use one activation function. We have to find out whether it is right a prediction. If it is a cancer prediction means, if it is a patient according to the CT scan image, the patient has the cancer or not. So if we have to find the handwriting recognition according to the data set, the present tested data set, whether it is matches or not, true or false. Likewise, you have to predict the data. So using this layers. So what is the purpose of each? What is the purpose of each and every layer? That is a main thing is the convolution layer. So why we go with that convolution means there is a spatial property. What is a spatial property? So initially we have to say is that we have to take the input as an input image. So that will be converted to the pixel. So the image will be converted to the image pixels. Okay, the matrix contains the pixel values. Each and everything has some numbers. So if we have to flatten the things, okay. So if it is a 3x3, no problem, 9. If it is a 4x4, that is a no problem, 16. If it is a volumes of images having the much features, much values, we cannot go with that. Okay. So we have to do the convolution operation. How do you do the convolution operation? I will explain in this example. The activation function, the previous layer, output layer, you use the activation function, no? So that one either it may be a ReLU. So the one of the famous thing is ReLU is the leaky and ReLU and Reiki activation function we are using for all the present scenario applications. And also pooling layer, either we can do the max pooling or min pooling or average pooling to reduce the size of this matrix. Okay. And finally, this is the fully connected layer. I said previous things. So these are all some activation function we are using that is sigmoid function. So the value in between of 0 or 1. not in between 0 or 1, either 0 or 1. It may be in between a 0.16, like this means we have to normalize it, whether it go with that 0 or 1. Always you have to check with that. Activation function should be like this only. If you have to use the tan h function, the value will be -1 to +1. The formula and calculation like this only. The ReLU, the famous function, that is a rectifier linear unit, we have to use in this activation function. And finally, this is the softmax function. What is the use of the softmax function is the, for example, our data set having only, we have to find out whether cat or dog. Only two things is there, either cat or dog. Only two things. We can go with that sigmoid function. If it is a softmax function means, if it is more number of animals are there, cat, dog, elephant, and also some other animals also there means, we have to use the softmax function. What is the softmax function? So if it is 0.25 value, that is the dog, some cat. So as a whole, if you have the 4 animals means, that weight, fully connected layer, that weight totally we can calculate means, as a whole we can get the 1 value. So that is the use of softmax. So when you go with that softmax function is, if you handle with the multiple classes, if it is a binary classification means, simply you can go with that as an initial person. If you have to study with that deep learning means, you have to go with that sigmoid function. We have to work with that yes or no predictions, cancer predictions or digit predictions, unless otherwise animal predictions. Likewise, you have to go with that only two things, only two classes of data sets only there means, we can go with that sigmoid function. Unless otherwise multiple classes there means, we have to go with that softmax function. So this is the simple example. As I told that the image will be converted in the image matrix. We have to think with that a translation image also. If it is X like this means, if you write in a human handwriting, the human form, it may be very human by human. Okay, so not like everybody can like a simple O like this, oval shape or a sphere shape. Likewise, they won't write it. Each and every handwriting is different. So our machine, our deep learning model should adapt with that every human behavior. So not every human behavior. What are all the possibilities, the system model has to predict also. All the predictions. So this is the first one. We have to take the X, okay, cross. So what all the thing is there, we have to make it as a 1. Remaining thing is -1. Okay. So afterwards, we have to do the convolution operation. What is the convolution operation? First of all, we have to take it the feature image and has to multiply with that each and every filters. What is that? What we have to take the multiply 1. Okay. So this is the convolution filters. The filters can be applied into 3 cross 3. Can you see that? So we have to multiply with that 1. The first one multiply with first one, we can get the 1. We have to make it as a, this is the output convolution function. So after this is the -1. This -1 into 1 plus -1 into -1. Likewise, you have to do that and add the value and write it in the output things. Okay. This is a way we have to do the convolution operation for each and everything, each and every matrix of this 3 cross 3. This one, a simple function. First one, 1 cross 1 and -1. So totally as a whole, we have to divide the things, take the sum value. So we have to take the filters 1 cross 1. This is the output of the convolution operation. So this filters can be applied to each and everywhere. The value will be varied by the feature by matrix by matrix. One way it is maybe 1, but all the things will be 1. Unless otherwise 0.55, the value will be varied. See here. So after doing all the convolution operation, the first row, first column 0.77. Next one -0.11. Next one 0.11. So if you have to take like this, this is the as a whole we can get the value after doing the convolution operations. Okay. So the next one, we have to apply the ReLU layer, that is the activation function. We have to check with that whether that pixel is related with that image or not. Okay. So we have to compare each and everything. Okay. We have to compare one by one. So finally, so we have to know the pooling function. How do you do the pooling function means? So this is the max pooling value. This is the 2 cross 2 matrix. There are 4 values are there, 0.77001. So this is the max pooling. We are doing the max pooling function. Either any functions we can use it for reducing our pixels. So if you have to do all the operation, the feature value would not be differ. Either if you have to take as a whole, the volume of that is a lot of computation can be used. Unless otherwise, if we either you can use the pooling layer is not compulsory. It is an optional one. Either we can reduce the pixel values, we can use it. Okay. This we are using max pooling. If it is a min pooling means we can take it as a 0. If it is average pooling means take the average value. Unless otherwise we can take the max pooling of. So here two cross 2 pooling layers are using. So one by one we have to do like this. Okay. So and finally can get the after doing pooling operation we can get the output like this 1.33, 0.55, 0.33 after applying this 2 cross 2 pooling function. So this one, first of all, you have to take the image as an input, do the convolution operation, do the activation function, then pooling function. Again, so it is not a simple one. Again, you have to do the repeatedly, you have to do all those things. Finally, you have to fully connected layer. The fully connected layer, the totally 12 things is there. We have to write in the flattened layer one by one. So that is 1.55, 0.55, 1. We have to do all those things. So based on this, how do you function? Already in the labeled data, we can fix that. If it is the first position, fourth position, fifth position, 10th position is 1, it will be X. Okay. Unless otherwise, second position, third position, next, these are, if these 4 positions are 1, that will be 0, like X or O like this. We have to define it. This way, I have to do all the calculations. This is a simple one. This is not a explanatory things. This is a simple thing for calculating how the image will be detected. Okay. So if you work with that deep learning model, we know if you want to implement this, so one of the thing is Python. It must, everybody should know it. And also some of the additional things can be, that is scientific Python, that is SciPy, NumPy, numerical Python, and Matplotlib for the so all the plotting functions we are going to use that, and Keras, TensorFlows. So these are all the programming and package libraries that will be useful for deep learning. If we want to implement, we want to study, we have to enhance our skills in that basic one. Everything in online, all the tutorials are available. So if you have to go with that large data set, we cannot work with that in our laptop or thing. So because most of the things are related with that GPU, so basic beginners, you have to work with that Google Colab. Everybody may know it. So these are some Google resources for work with that tools. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the wonder. Any other queries? Participants, any other queries? Okay, ma'am. Ma'am,
Okay,
shall we move to the vote of thanks, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to welcome our faculty. Ms. Lavanya will deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to everyone. On behalf of Madurai Gandhi N.M.R.Subbaraman College for Women and the Department of Computer Science, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed keynote speaker, Dr.K.S.Gomathi ma'am, Principal and Head of the Department of Computer Science and BCA, for her thought-provoking insights and for gracing this workshop with her inspired words. We are equally grateful to Dr.C.Gunasundari ma'am, Assistant Professor at the School of Computing, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Tiruchirappalli, for her expert knowledge and invaluable contribution to today's sessions. I also wish to thank the faculty members and participants for making the 7th National Research Workshop a resounding success. For enthusiasm and collaboration have truly enriched the event. Thank you all and have a wonderful day. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Lavanya. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay.